Act 1 of Adelgitha, or The Fruits of a Single Error, by Matthew Lewis. This is a Librivox recording. All Librivox recordings are in the public domain. For more information, or to volunteer, please visit librivox.org. Cast of Characters:
Michael Ducas, Emperor of Byzantium. Read by Tomas Peter.
Robert Guiscard, Prince of Apulia. Read by Larry Wilson.
Lothair, a Norman knight. Read by Todd.
Alciphron, a Grecian nobleman. Read by Sam Munson.
Dercetus, a Grecian nobleman. Read by T.J. Burns.
Rainulf,
Officer of Guiscard.
read by Son of the Exiles.
Julian, an officer of Guiscard. Read by Alan Mapstone.
Adelgitha, Princess of Apulia. Read by Lian Yao.
Emma, Princess of Byzantium. Read by Devorah Allen.
The Abbess of St. Hilda. Read by Sandra Schmidt.
Claudia, an Italian lady. Read by Sonia.
Female peasant. Read by Eva Davis.
Other female peasant. Read by April 6090.
The Chorus, read by Roger Moline.
Stage directions, read by phone. Act 1. Scene 1. A grove, with the chapel and shrine of St. Hilda. In the latter lamps are burning, and the doors are closed. The sun is rising. Claudia is discovered, leaning against the pillar of the shrine, left.
Hail, welcome morn! At length thy rising glories gleam on the convent spires, and lo! yon lamps with fainter rays illume the shrine's arched windows where Adelgitha watches. Sure, if virtue ever found peculiar favour from high heaven, her prayers are heard, and Guiscard lives and triumphs.
A bell tolls, and nuns are seen descending.
Hark! 'Twas the convent bell, and see! The abbess to chant their matins in yon chapel leads her white-robed train. Ah, heaven-devoted sisters, how wise that choice which from her pangs exempts you, who weeps away the night, and dreads at morning to hear a son or husband lives no more.
The Abbess of St. Hilda enters with a train of nuns. Claudia, kneeling.
Most honoured lady, at thy feet in duty suppliant I bend.
May the saint's blessing, daughter, aid thee to struggle against the sinful world, and guide thy pilgrim steps to grace and goodness.
Claudia rises.
Huh? Wherefore burn those lamps?
In yonder shrine, with prayer and penance, has Apulia's princess passed the long night, imploring heaven that morn might bring glad tidings of her lord in safety.
Well may she rue that day when Michael Ducas, Byzantium's exiled emperor, sought these shores, and sued at Guiscard's feet for aid and shelter. His suit was granted, and perhaps ere this, that life on which depends Apulia's welfare has perished by some Grecian rebel's sword.
And can such fears alarm St. Hilda's abbess? Doubts she of heavenly love or heavenly justice? Has virtue guardian angels? If she has, then guardian angels watch over Guiscard's safety.
Against that virtue weigh the cause he fights for.
The cause he fights for is an exiled king's.
Weigh too that exile's guilt, which lost him empire.
He who that empire seized was guiltier far. Erred Michael? Still Alexius was his subject. Wronged were the Greeks? Still Michael was their king.
What then? Are subjects bound and sovereigns free? Free to be proud, vindictive, cruel, false? In fine, to be what Michael was?
No, mother, but that which Michael was he is not now. His power is crushed. Led by his weeping daughter, suppliant I saw him kneel at Guiscard's throne, and none to Guiscard ever knelt in vain. I feel like Guiscard, feel that heart is marble which heaves no sigh at sight of ruined greatness, and hate that light which only glares to show faults which affliction's iron hand has chastened.
Claudia, thy blame is just. I own my error. And when reproof swells on my lips again, I'll think, he suffers, and reserve my censure for those who sin and prosper. Means your princess to join our matin rites?
She waits your coming.
'Tis well.
Going.
Yet comes not Claudia?
Straight I'll follow. But lo! Byzantium's princess, beauteous Imma, bends to this shrine her steps. O chide not, mother, if from your pious rites I steal some moments to whisper comfort to yon royal mourner.
Chide thee? Nay, Claudia, take my heart's best wishes to aid thy gracious office. Now, sisters, to the chapel. Farewell, daughter.
Exeunt abbess and nuns into chapel.
So sad. I fear our unowned youth. Ah, why is virtuous love so rarely happy?
Enter Imma and ladies. Imma, speaking to herself.
Still does he live? Sun, does he see thee still? Or that pure blaze which fires the orient sky, so bright to others, is it dark to him? O father, father, couldst thou but think like me, a straw-thatched cottage, Lothair, and you, would fill my heart's whole circle, and then who would might wear Byzantium's crown.
So early from thy couch, my princess?
Oh, such a night, my Claudia! Such sights, such bloody glaives, such burning towns filled all my broken dreams. No news yet from Durazzo?
Lady, none, but soon.
Oh, dread suspense! My father's throne, perhaps his life, hangs on this battle's issue. Perhaps, ere this, our good, our glorious champion has signed in blood our ruin and his own, and Adelgitha soon, o'er Guiscard's corse, will curse the day she pitied exiled Imma.
Claudia, artfully.
Perhaps Lothair too?
Imma, catching the name with eagerness.
Ay, that good Lothair! He, the gentlest, loveliest, bravest, best! He, whose kind arms on the Adriatic waves from pirates saved my life and dearer honour. Oh, ere I hear those words, Lothair has perished. Come, friendly death, and join me to Lothair.
Lothair, a foundling youth, a nameless warrior, and thou Byzantium's princess.
Oh, I know it, know that my passion's folly, ruin, madness, but still I love, and loving, still must think thy deeds, Lothair, more noble than my birth, thy heart, Lothair, more precious than my treasures, and one fond glance shot from thine eyes more brilliant than all the jewels in my father's crown.
See where that father comes.
He frowns. Away then, I dare not meet him now.
Crosses to left.
What fear you, princess? Those frowns are not for you.
Alas, alas, when thus he frowns, he's ever fearful, Claudia. He had a page, no fairer, sweeter child e'er blessed a mother. Dear my father loved him, yet stung with sudden rage. Oh, can I tell it? He stabbed him, stabbed the innocent boy. Oh, heaven, how painful 'tis to mark a parent's errors, and not esteem where duty bids us love. He comes. Fly, Claudia, fly.
Exeunt into the chapel. Enter Michael Ducas and Dorsitas.
I'll hear no more. Must I not sleep nor wake, but sung to rest, or from my slumbers roused with Guiscard's praises? The screech owl's boding cry, the approaching howl of famished wolves, the chant of midnight witches, nay, in my only child's expiring groan were music to the praise of him I hate.
And wherefore hate him? Serves he not your cause? Is it not for you that now before Durazzo his troops are leaguered, and his life exposed? Is it not for you?
Now be that hour forever cursed which saw the Emperor of Byzantium suppliant, implore a Norman pirate's aid. I was not born to ask, but to command. My task was to confer, not sue for favours. Yet now by Guiscard's aid, through Guiscard's bounty, 'tis given me to exist. Ah, curses! Curses! I sink oppressed by weight of obligations, and each fresh service seems an added crime.
Yet, in his eyes, whose interest they advance, even crimes might well look fair.
No, no. Were life and empire my choice, I'd rather plunge in neighbouring Etna than own life and empire to this new Cato's grace, this Norman Brutus. But last night Dercetus, a ruffian, hot with wine, cried, "Lo, where goes the pensioned emperor? Had he ruled like Guiscard, he need not here exist on Guiscard's arms." Gods! What strange patience must that man possess, who calmly listens to a rival's praises, nor loathes that glory which obscures his own.
Crosses to right. Dercetus, aside.
The ungrateful tyrant chills my blood with horror.
What sayest thou, slave?
If thus his sight afflicts you, soon come the hour when you shall meet no more.
That hour is past, if Phocian's sword be sharp.
Phocion?
That Persian slave who left Otranto, 3 days since then, are over, conveyed to Phocian my mandate, midst the battle's heat and tumult, to plunge his sword in Guiscard's heart.
Oh, Emperor!
Then will I seize my rival's falling sceptre, use it to strike Alexius from my throne, and, placing Adelgitha there, salute a queen of Byzantium and of Michael's heart.
Will she accept that heart?
She will. She must.
What? She, the model of all wives, all women, whose passion for her lord. On man never doted woman as dotes on Guiscard, Adelgitha. Her love, her virtue.
There's the charm, Dercetus. But oh, 'twere bliss to bend this stubborn beauty, crush the proud fabric of her idol honour, and, while she weeps to view its ruins, teach her she is fond, and frail, and false, in short, a woman.
Crosses left.
By Claudia's lips she charged me here attend her.
The organ is heard.
And hark! The organ speaks the matins o'er. The doors unclose. She comes. Retire, Dercetus.
Exit Dercetus. The doors of the shrine open, center. Adelgitha is discovered in mourning, kneeling at an altar. Emma, Claudia, the abbess, and nuns surround her. During the following speech, Emma kneels to Michael Ducas and seems to receive his blessing.
Chaste sisters, take my thanks. Your holy comfort was balm to my torn heart. Though sad, I'm tranquil. Though cheerful, I'm resigned, and now, submissive, I will meet heaven's will. Let heaven or smile or frown.
Just is thy thought, and for the world 'twere well, thought all like thee. Now pardon, gracious princess, for convent duties call me hence.
Dear mother, use your free will. Your will is my best pleasure.
Abbess and nun return to the convent. Adelgitha to Claudia.
Friend, join the train. Yon height o'erlooks the bay. Thence mayst thou first discern the bark which brings me those tidings which I long, yet dread to hear.
Oh, be that office mine. With restless eye I'll watch the waves. No, not a speck shall scape me. And when at length I spy the wished-for sail, so swift I'll speed, I'll make the zephyrs jealous to find their wings outstripped.
My kind, sweet Emma.
Emma, kissing her hand.
My friend, my brother, Claudia, come.
Exit with Claudia.
Now, princess, obedient to your summons.
We're alone, and what I've now to say requires no witness. When driven by desperate rebels from Byzantium, 'twas here you sought protection.
Say 'twas here I found it.
Our means were small, our court can boast no splendour, but what was ours we gave.
And gave it nobly, gave it with freedom, which endeared the gift.
E'en at this hour my lord beneath Durazzo sustains your cause.
He does.
His wealth is lavished, his blood is risked for you.
I own his favours. Sure, if to man ere man owed gratitude, to him I owe it.
Crosses to left.
Your gratitude?
'Tis his, and his of right. None doubts it, sure.
None should.
None dares.
None does. Know you that scroll?
Showing a letter. Michael, starting.
Ha, faithless slave!
Aside.
The letter I sent to Phocian.
Robbers slew the bearer, and midst his plunder was this writing found. Straight to my hands 'twas given, for e'en those robbers whose blood, if seized, had streamed by Guiscard's justice, rejoiced to save that precious life which he, for whom that life is risked, would fain have taken.
Michael, aside.
Confusion.
Here it stands, the ungrateful name. Is not thy hand thy seal? And were these wanting, does not the inhuman business it enjoins declare that none but Michael was the writer? Canst thou deny?
Michael, aside.
My heart can bear no more, and I must vent its rage or die. Yes, princess, yes, 'twas my hand which traced that plan of death, and from my soul I wish the murder done. I hate thy Guiscard, hate him fiercely, deadly, and wouldst thou know what most excites my hate? He's Adelgitha's husband.
Adelgitha, surprised.
How? What cause?
Princess, I love thee.
Adelgitha, starting, then after a moment's pause, with contempt.
Thou!
To frenzy love thee. And with what strange, what fierce, what desperate passion, judge by this rash avowal. Those bright eyes, if I am guilty, lighted me to guilt. They bade me murder Guiscard. They seduced me suppliant to clasp the Norman pirate's knees. They make me feel, those stars of Michael's fortune. Michael were wretched on Byzantium's throne unless he shared that throne with Adelgitha.
If I so long have listened to these insults, 'tis that surprise and anger struck me dumb. Thou rival Guiscard! Couldst thou hope her love, who shares that heroes, could e'er stoop to thee? Thou only couldst by thinking my taste erroneous as thy heart is base.
Michael, choking with rage.
How? How? You wrong me, princess. As my wife and empress, placed on Byzantium's throne.
Adelgitha, ironically.
Byzantium's throne! O fair and tempting gift, O generous proffer! Yet while you make it, 'twere as well, methinks, did you reflect, unless by Guiscard's valour Byzantium's throne will not be yours to give. Then pardon, mighty prince, if I decline these gracious offers, if I dare prefer glory with Guiscard to contempt with thee, and think that he who succours banished kings is nobler than a king whose crimes have banished.
Crosses to right.
Proud woman, darest thou?
Adelgitha, with a commanding air.
Hold! For Imma's sake, 2 days I give thee to provide some refuge. So long I'll hide thy fault from Guiscard's vengeance, but on the 3rd this scroll.
I thank you, princess, and for 2 days shall count my life secure, depending on a woman's silence. Oh, I could dash my front on earth for trusting to woman's gratitude or woman's sense.
Crosses to right. Adelgitha, calmly.
Thus ever rail their tongues at female judgment, who want that worth which merits female love. But thou, ne'er seeking love, content with pleasure, cursed with indulgence of each vain caprice, suspecting treason e'en on beauty's bosom, and tasting poison in each honeyed kiss, mayst thou still think all women false and light, incapable of faith, unfit for trust, and born to be man's slave, not man's companion? Such may they think us still, who act like thee. I cannot wish them worse than such to think us.
Emma, without, right.
Speed, princess, speed!
Hark, Emma comes.
Enter Emma, right.
Oh, speed! Swift cuts a bark the billows, and the shores groan with the throng of anxious citizens.
Crosses to left.
Shall we not hasten?
On before, sweet maid. I'll follow straight.
Exit Emma, left. Adelgitha, in a decided tone.
Forget not what I've said, nor brave the lightnings of my hero's eye. 2 rules are Guiscard's, ne'er to sin himself, and ne'er to pardon others when they sin. Then dread to meet his wrath, be timely prudent, fly with thy shameful secret, fly and live. Farewell.
Crosses left.
And thou who speak'st so stern and high, dost thou not fear that?
I fear thee! Oh no! Salerno's daughter was not born to fear.
Salerno's daughter?
Ay, that name, it seems, has reached your hearing. Then I need not add, dishonour, and that name have still been strangers. And she, whose veins can boast that hero's blood, and she, whose heart retains that hero's lessons, rest thou assured, thinks nothing bright but virtue, and nothing dreadful but disgrace.
Exit left.
Salerno's daughter? Should it be Dercetus?
Enter Dercetus, right.
My prince.
Those letters which the dying Norman gave to thy care in Astra's wood. Thou hast them?
The portrait, too.
The portrait? Find it straight, and bring it to my chamber. Speed, Dercetus.
Exit Dercetus, right. Michael, alone.
Each fresh reflection gives my hopes fresh vigour. And if those hopes prove just, the game's my own. Compelled to silence, suppliant for my mercy, my rival dead. But how? That young Lothair, 'tis plain his heart is Emma's. Could I win him? Why doubt it? May not all be won? And has not each man his price for those who choose to pay it? When offers fail, virtue's not strong, but dear. And that stern honour, which disdains a dukedom, a sceptre shown, will bow and take the bribe.
Exit right. End of Act 1.